Hi, my name is Allison Hike. I'm an attorney at Francis Hansen and Martin, and today I am going to give top things to know about Senate Bill 608. This is not a comprehensive list of things to know, and this is not to be used to provide advice to your clients. This is purely for informational purposes. If you have specific questions, you can contact me directly or have your clients contact their attorneys. Basically, what Senate Bill 608 has done is it has abolished month-to-month and fixed-term tenancies after the first year of occupancy. So the key term to this is, what is the first year of occupancy? Definition of the first year of occupancy in the statute is all periods in which the tenants have occupied the property for 1 year or less. So first year of occupancy is a year or less of occupancy. If you have a lease within the first year of occupancy and the lease is a month-to-month lease, the landlord can give 30-day notice at any time during that first year of occupancy for no cause. So they can terminate the lease with a 30-day no cause notice at any time during that first year of occupancy. After that first year of occupancy, the landlord cannot terminate a month-to-month lease without having a qualifying reason, which we will discuss. If you have a term lease and the lease term ends on the last day of the first year of occupancy or any time within the first year of occupancy, the landlord can terminate the lease at the end of the term, but must give 30 days notice of the lease termination. If the landlord fails to give the 30-day notice at the end of a fixed term lease that is within the year, that fixed term automatically becomes a month-to-month lease. So what happens after the first year of occupancy? If the lease is a month-to-month lease, whether it is a fixed term that is turned month-to-month and you're after the first term of occupancy, or it is a month-to-month lease from the very beginning and you're in your second or third or so on year, you have to give the tenant, there's no cause anymore. The only way to get the tenant out without cause is to have a qualifying reason. The qualifying reasons are: you plan on demolishing or converting the property into a non-residential use. You plan to make repairs and renovations that will make it unsafe or unfit to occupy during the time of the repairs or renovations, or the property is currently unsafe or unfit to occupy. A landlord or a landlord's immediate family member is going to move into the property, or the landlord has an accepted offer to sell the property to someone who in good faith intends to reside in the property as their primary residence. If you have a qualifying reason, you have to give the tenant 90-day notice. That 90 days, then in that notice, you have to state the qualifying reasons and have supporting facts to show the qualifying reasons and how you're going to do them. You have to give them the 90 days notice. It has to be 90 days before the termination, and you have to detail when the lease will terminate. And you have, if you own 5 or more residential units, you have to give 1 month's rent at the time of the notice. The question is, what is a residential unit? The statute does not define it as a rental residential unit, so it would include your primary residence or any vacation property that you may have. It also says the definition of landlord is somewhat confusing, and there is some question as to whether a landlord includes owners of an LLC or whether it's just a separate LLC. If you have any questions with respect to how many units you own, I would advise you to contact your attorney. In the event a landlord fails to comply with the statutes with respect to notices and terminations under Senate Bill 608, the violations potentially can provide damages to the tenant. Those damages are 3 months' rent, actual damages, the tenant has a defense of possession, and attorney's fees. There's also a question as to whether or not unlawful ouster would apply too. The second part of Senate Bill 608 is the rent control. Basically, with the rent control, you are prohibited from increasing the rent during the first year. If you choose to increase the rent after the first year, you have to give 90-day notice, and the rent increase can only be 7% plus the current CPI. The CPI is a specified CPI, so I would check into that before you calculated your numbers. There are exceptions to this. The first exception is that if the certificate of occupancy was issued within 15 years of the date of your notice, you have to still give the 90-day notice, but you are not limited to the 7% plus CPI increase. The other exception is if the landlord has been providing reduced rent based on some sort of federal subsidy. Again, this is an overview of Senate Bill 608. It does not hit everything that is in Senate Bill 608. And if you have questions, please feel free to contact me or contact your attorney. Thank you.